Hello, beautiful beings. Welcome back to another live Q&A. I always have so much fun talking to you guys right before I get on, so it's always such a pleasure. I did actually just drop my mic right before getting on live, so hopefully I sound fine, but I've been dropping a lot of things recently, so I think it's just an ascension symptom. Before we begin, I want to kind of go into a couple of things here. I've got my laptop in front of me. I want to start with the healing that I got from Shaman Durek. I don't know if you guys know him. He's pretty big. And what I love, there's so many things that I love about him, and I don't really know him too well, but we've had now 2 interviews together, and he is so extra, okay, but also so authentic, and also he's breaking in to mainstream. So huge props to Shaman Durek for being able to kind of just balance both worlds and do it so effortlessly. And it seems like his beliefs and understandings of the world and reality are identical to mine, but once again, we're just tapping in to the truth of what the universe is holding, right? So it's really incredible finding someone who is making these ripples in mainstream, who is so freaking legit, and he's able to integrate. So I just wanted to give him a shout out. So on Instagram, him and I had an interview on Thursday. It was supposed to be an hour, but we were having so much fun. It was an hour and a half. And the last half, we were taking questions, and then he ended up scanning my energy and seeing a block in my throat chakra. And I was kind of thinking, I don't know, I know that every time I burn myself out, I get a sore throat, right? So it's clearly an area where I struggle, and this is like the first area to go in my body when I'm, burnt out. Anyway, so he picks up on it. And he says, and it's a really cool interview, it's on his Instagram, in his IGTV. You'll find it there. Anyway, and so he said that a witch put this spell on my throat chakra in a past lifetime, and it blocks me from connecting to pure source energy. And he said every time you connect to pure source, you're either going to start choking or there's going to be something in the throat, which is really funny. And I have mentioned it just on videos before, because it's kind of all a blur on where I've mentioned it. But there are moments where I'm meditating and I have the Tantra. It's like Tantra, right? Bringing up your energy, connecting to pure source. I have those moments. And sometimes in those moments, I actually feel like throwing up. Like I get this gag reflex is what it is. And unfortunately, sometimes when I have like a really awesome orgasm, I also get this gag reflex, which is the most unattractive thing, I've got to tell you, in that moment. So he picked up on it, and as he was clearing it, I was literally, I thought I could almost do it right now, just thinking about it. I thought I was going to throw up on this live video with him doing this very public healing, and me needing to be very vulnerable in that moment. And it was incredible. And the rest of the day, my throat hurt because I was just clearing out that energy. So definitely go check that out. Him and I have so much fun when we get our energies together. He is so spot on. We speak the same language. It's amazing. And he's a fluid little human just like I am too. So that's really awesome. So go check that out. Yeah, it's just very public, very live healing. But I just want to say, in a public way, thank you, Shaman Durek. I don't think he watches my stuff, but I really feel the effects of the healing that he gave. So I think that's incredible. Just wanted to mention that, because I don't get a lot of readings or healings or anything like that myself, even though I feel like I really need a massage these days. Okay. Second thing is, I do want to just take some time to give a special shout out to some of these main contributors to my YouTube channel. All of you are freaking amazing, especially all of the members. that really allows me to give as much free content as I give. So a huge shout out to my members, but specifically whether it's been through super chats or just the fact that you guys show up every single week and there's this incredible community online, that's being created, and it really does warm my soul. So really special shout out to Sherry, Jeremy, Devin, Cece, JJ, Denise, John, Sharma, Jen, Heidi, Mariska, Corinne, and of course my mom, because she watches all of my content. So thank you, all of you guys, so much. And I'm sure there's so many more that I'm missing, but I just wanted to especially thank all of you just for being so loyal, but so open and vulnerable, and really creating that community. I want to tell you, actually, I'm going to plant the seed now. I didn't think about telling you guys now, but right now, me and my wife are working on building a new membership platform. So she's actually getting some developers involved. We're going to be coding. It's not going to be like my own social media platform, but it'll be my own membership group. So, why have YouTube and have, say, a Slack, right? Because I really want to create a community for all of the members. I just want to now extract all of the membership. Thank you, Jeremy, as always. Actually, I looked up what Ja Bogwin means, and I believe it means victory. So now every time I see that, I just see victory, which is incredible. I love that. Hopefully that's the translation that I saw on Google. But I am working right now. It's going to take a little bit longer than just a Slack room, right? A Slack room is just a temporary fix. The main reason why I want to extract my membership and have my own program, my own platform, is because of the censorship right now. Right now, thankfully, I have not, I think, for the most part, been censored. Not sure, because shadow bans are shadow bans. But yeah, the heavy light workers are getting taken down hard. And I know that a lot of the content that I speak about is a lot of the stuff that is being taken down and targeted. So I am working right now, and I'm hoping that by the end of the year, so in another 2 months, I will have a whole new membership platform, program, everything. And I'm not sure, I might keep the YouTube membership and have a different membership off YouTube for a little bit, just because the YouTube membership is very easily accessible, right? So it might be a slow integration, but we're definitely working on that on the back end, just to keep my assets protected. And my wife just scraped all of my content for the membership, which was like 100 plus videos. Yeah, so anyway, just lots of good things coming. Also, I think, I don't know if it was Jen or Mariska, but this morning we were chatting in the live little chat room, and someone mentioned that DNA sliced is actually the flower of life. And in my mind, I'm like, no fucking way. So I ended up Googling it this morning, and turns out it is. So don't Google it right now, but after this video, I want you all, and it's not actually the word sliced, okay? It's called DNA cross-section, okay? It's gonna blow your freaking mind. So basically, if you slice DNA, a DNA strand, it literally looks like it is the flower of life. Like, you can't fucking make this shit up. It's science. It's just so incredible. And some of the images of DNA cross sections are literally sacred geometry. Like, it just, I love it. It's amazing. Oh, so good. Okay. I'll leave that little nugget for you, but my mind was blown this morning, and I really wanted to share all of that with you. Okay. I was doing some meditation. I'm going to get to some really great 5D relationship questions, but yeah, there's a lot. Okay, one more thing. I was doing some meditation, and yeah, and it's very interesting. So I don't know if you've noticed, but my content in the past maybe 4 weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, it's been a little bit different than the content before. So I want to say that between February and where are we now? October? between February and September maybe, or even February and August, it was these keys, right, that are unlocking your DNA, right, these keys. And then for the past month, I've been really seriously called to putting out a lot of super real, super vulnerable, super authentic, the word is realigning content, okay? I've been called to realign perceptions, your perceptions about me, but also your perceptions about things like the Galactic Federation and the universe and what have you, to make sure that you're not disempowering yourself with me, the information, or the Galactic Federation, right? So there's been this realigning in the past couple of weeks. Oh yeah, and then also bringing my wife on, like seeing a more personal side of me, like those are all things that I've really been called to, so that you know I'm just a freaking chill human, you know what I mean? Like I'm not some crazy guru, spiritual, my ear just popped teacher, right? So yeah, so it's been realigning. And then when I tuned back into the energy this morning, what came through? Oh yeah, so this is like a period of realigning to give that power back, if at all you've been creating, cords or whatever. And then what came to me was I'm biding my time before more keys come in. Now, do you guys remember maybe a month ago, I don't know, what is time, maybe 2 months ago, my keys disappeared or my wife threw them out. We're not really sure what happened to them. But I had that same keychain for like 10 plus years, right? So weird. And then the guides came in and said that I misplaced my keys or my keys popped out of existence or whatever because I'm actually getting new keys. And metaphorically, it's a new set of keys for all of you because they also mentioned, the GFL also mentioned in a transmission that I am the one who has the keys and you're the one who has to step through the door, right? Anyway, so now we're in this weird liminal place where I will tell you right now that my content, this is what they said, my content leading up to around December 21st, right, is going to be kind of this weird intermediary place where I'm going to be talking about old energy and I'm going to be talking about new energy. So things like manifestation, things like teaching your starseed children, right? These are they're not keys to unlock your DNA, they're tools. That's what they are. It's a very different vibration, right? And so I'm kind of like biding my time, even though all the content's going to be great and it has been great, it's just different. You're going to feel a difference in that. And so there's 3 main events coming through. Once again, all channeled this morning. November, there's going to be an event, I want to say probably around, if not on, 11/11. And then a huge event coming December 21st, we all know. And then another event happening January, and I want to say it's going to be around January 11th or 12th, another huge event. These are energy events, okay? Portals opening up, energies releasing, those kind of things. So in and around that time, my content's going to be changing, more information is going to be coming through, and we're going to go back to unlocking your DNA. So as I'm going through it, as I'm having the mini ego deaths, as I'm, unlocking my DNA, right, and awakening to what is possible, I'm just a mere reflection of all of you. Anytime I have an issue, it's usually always validated by, the majority of the people who watch my content, which is cool, right? Because we're not alone in all of this. So yeah, I just wanted to mention all of that. And then one last thing, and then we're going to deep dive into the questions. Tomorrow's video is going to be about the grid system. Like I said, I used to lecture on the grid system because I thought it was that important. I really haven't brought it up in probably at least a year. So I'm going to revisit that concept. There is so much that you need to know about the grid system, and it is a huge tool for all of us to be quantum leaping, okay? The grid system allows us to really get into the quantum world. So tomorrow's video is going to be a huge tool for you. Not an unlock, but a tool. Not an activation, but a tool, a remembrance of how powerful you are and what you have the ability to tune into. Cool. All right. Okay, so first question from Elise Glasock. Can your partner's limiting beliefs affect your manifestation, especially financially, since you are co-creating life together and finances are typically joined? Also, can your partner's lower vibration bring you down, and how to ward against that? Perfect. Okay, so 100% your partner's lack mentality, okay, can affect your ability to thrive, okay? Okay, how do I go about it? Oh, yes. So if you have a partner who's on the same page with you and you talk about things that you want to manifest together as, complex as manifesting a baby together or buying a new house together, or as simple as, getting on the same page with the friends that are coming over next weekend or what have you, okay? Coming together and talking about things with your partner is going to amplify the manifestation ability. However, working against your partner's own limiting beliefs is also going to drag you down. But that doesn't have to always be the case. Your partner, for sure, in every relationship, even in a beautiful 5D relationship, both of you are going to be working through some polarizing stuff. And that can easily bring you down. So like I mentioned in the relationship video with Natasha, putting up, your boundaries, having healthy boundaries, cutting cords with your partner in that moment when they don't serve you, recognizing their limiting beliefs, not taking that on personally, and really learning the lessons that you have to learn in having a partner who has those sort of limitations. Right? So that separation is going to be really key for allowing both of you to flourish. And as you really step into your financial abundance power, you show your partner who is lacking financially or within that abundance mindset, you show them. The second that you lower your vibration to be at their frequency, it's a lose-lose situation, right? But maybe it's more comfortable for both of you and for them. Maybe it's just more comfortable because it's awkward when you have one partner who's just in a different place, right? You have to be okay with that awkwardness for a little while. Okay. Yeah, so your partner can always affect you. No matter what state they're in, your partner has the ability to affect you in a negative or a positive way. It's up to you to decide if that's something you want to take on or not. All right, new member here, Taylor P. How do you justify staying in a relationship when you know they're not your soulmate? I love my partner and he's done nothing wrong, but I can't shake the feeling that there's someone better aligned for me. It would feel wrong to throw it all away based on that alone. Okay, I have my own personal understanding of this question in particular. And in my last relationship, I was engaged to this guy in Toronto, and this is not the reptilian, by the way. That was the relationship before this one, and before that one, I should say. And it was a relationship of convenience. And as a matter of fact, I knew that I needed this guy in my life to heal my wounds from the reptilian relationship. And it, like I said, relationship of convenience. It looked good on paper. He was this, music producer in Toronto, and I was this freaking psychic, I don't know. And, all the checks were there, and the parents approved and whatever. But there really wasn't a lot of passion. There was love, like really, truly, like unconditional love, but in a very platonic sort of way. And I'm not saying, Taylor, that this is your relationship in particular, but in my mind, I'm like, there's nothing wrong. We never fight. We get along great. We do things together. I was having panic and anxiety attacks every month or so for no reason, but really because I was not fully harmonized. So here's what I did, Taylor, and maybe you can do this too. Like you mentioned, there is no sense in making a decision, okay, if everything is in harmony. Because the problem is, if we start making decisions when life is actually harmonious and it's not giving us these signs, then we may be making a decision through a limiting belief of, fuck it, I don't deserve love, so I'm going to sabotage this relationship because maybe there's something better, or maybe I don't deserve, so we don't really know. Like, there's so many things we don't know in making those decisions. So, and I recommend this for everyone. If you're in a place where you're like, work is okay, it's not the greatest, but nothing's wrong and nothing's really come along, so I'm just going to be here. It's the energy of complacency. So anyone right now who is stuck in this energy of complacency, I will tell you what to do. Ask for a sign. Don't just be passive. Don't just wait around. Ask for a sign. Ask for movement. Ask for validation. Be in the present moment. Ask to receive. That's what I did. I remember so vividly. I was in the bathtub planning this wedding, right, with this guy that I thought was right. And I was just, in this bathtub feeling anxiety. That's why I was in the bath in the first place. And I made this statement of, all right, universe, all right, spirit guides, give me a sign. Tell me that this is not my path, because we are about to invest, right? Not just money, but energy and getting the whole family together, right? So we're about to go through with this, You let me know. You let me know that this is not the right direction. And don't just give me a small sign. I literally put them into their place. I'm like, don't give me a small sign. Give me a big sign. Rattle my fucking world, right? Make it obvious that this is not the right path. And then after that night, I forgot about it. I forgot that I even asked for that, right? It's just like that moment. I'm like, oh, so desperate to just know. And then about a month later, I connect/reconnect with Nat. And everything opened up for me. Everything changed for me. I started to realize that I could have something more than what I had, not in a way that I needed something more or that I was greedy, but in a way that that what I had wasn't aligned to my soul. It wasn't enough, and I wasn't seeing it because I was in the limiting beliefs of complacency. This is okay. This is safe. This makes sense, right? I asked for a sign and I got it, and it smacked me in the face. And and then c'est la vie. Here we are. Okay, moving on. All right, Chrissy and Elisa. In a 3D and 5D relationship, how do you navigate a partner who is not really open to anything spiritual, and you can't openly share spiritual experiences with them without them thinking you're crazy? Okay. Can a relationship survive if you don't connect in this way? It is not up to me to say that a relationship can or cannot survive. Okay? It's not up to me to say that, right? In that state, it's all up to your own boundaries and your own comfortability. As far as, how do you navigate a partner who you can't speak your crazy truth to? In every partnership or friendship or even family dynamic, you should be speaking your truth to. I don't care if they think that you are the devil incarnate, okay? Because I have very clearly been called that many times before in my life, especially by Christians, right? You can't hold yourself back anymore. You need to realize that at the end of this life, you are only taking your lessons and choices with you. You're not taking anyone's perceptions or projections or bullshit or beliefs with you. You're not taking them with you. So what do you need to do for you in this lifetime? You need to speak up, because every time you choose to close off your energy with anyone in your life, you are creating more karma that you need to clear later on. So whether it's through your partner or your mother or your neighbor or your best friend or your teacher or your coworker, if you don't learn the lesson of speaking your truth with them, you're going to create and attract someone else in your life where you're going to be forced to speak your truth. It's not going to end, basically, okay? So with a partner and them thinking you're batshit crazy off your rocker, is that really who you want in your life? Like I mentioned, this is naturally how every imbalanced 3D, 5D dynamic works. You're in your 5D bliss. They're in their 3D linear mindset. What we all tend to do to create more comfortability within those dynamics and relationships is we lower ourselves to meet their vibration. Could be a phone call, could be a roommate, right? But we lower ourselves because we understand, oh, I'm the one who's creating this uncomfortable energy because I'm in a different place than they are. I do want to say, just a little disclaimer, there is a difference between lowering your vibration in a conscious way with clear understanding of I'm lowering my vibration in this moment to play the game, and the difference of you just lower your vibration because you're lowering your vibration because you're matching them, because you're an empath, because you don't want to feel that way and what have you. Do you see there's a difference there? Anyway, I just wanted to mention that. It's okay to play the game. It's okay to be 3D in the moment. But by choosing to be 3D in that moment, you actually are making a 5D choice. It's a whole other thing. But, okay, here's what's going to happen every single time. I've seen it for years now in all of my clients. The second that you're like, fuck it, I'm going to stay in my high vibrational 5D place. You refuse to lower yourself to them anymore, okay? What happens is typically a blowout situation. It implodes. Because the higher you rise, the lower they sink, the more polarized that dynamic or relationship gets. And the more you're in different places, the more easily that fuse is going to go off. You're crazy, you're insane, I can't be with you anymore. You don't get me, you're not listening, da-da-da. Okay? All of a sudden, through that blowout, that conversation, that fight, there's a realigning that happens because you finally speak your truth. You finally let your partner or your friend or your mother know, if you cannot accept me for who I am, then I can't be in this dynamic. You just stand in your power. We need to realize that a spiritual awakening is not a fad. It's not a thing that you're choosing. It's something that you're finally seeing that you've never seen before. Your soul is 50% of who you are. You can't have someone in your life only accepting you for the other 50%, which is the physical. Well, I accept you for your human. That's not a relationship that's going to allow us to flourish. So I'm not saying that it can't work. I'm saying that you need to have the blow up in order to realign, to be like, these are my new standards. These are my conditions. I'll meet you halfway, but I'm not coming down to your level. They've got to meet you halfway too. You cannot make a serious decision on a relationship until you've actually spoken your truth and you've tried the relationship in a new vibration. Because eventually, the longer you stay up here, there's either one of two things that are going to happen. One, they're gone. It organically, naturally separates because it wasn't actually aligned to your highest truth. Fantastic, great, solved itself. Literally, it's so organic when that happens. Or two, there's a realigning that happens. And your partner or your friend or your mother or parent becomes a new person in your vibration without you having to say anything. Because now, instead of their vibration affecting and lowering yours, your vibration, because you're choosing to stay there, affects and heightens theirs. And that's how energy works. All right. Adriana. Hi, EA. Can we know the contracts that we have with our partner, and would that be beneficial? And then you go into a couple of other questions. I really, truly tried to understand my contracts within my relationship with Nat right at the beginning. And what I was tapping into was a multitude of timelines, of potential timelines within the two of us. So For me, I am obsessed with contracts. And you know what I should say? I used to be obsessed with contracts because I'm getting so much better now, but to the point where I'd be like, I have a contract with this drink for the next 20 minutes and then it's gone, right? So I think I was obsessed with contracts because I was trying to have all information so that I didn't get disappointed if things didn't go the way I wanted them to go. It was a safety mechanism, right? A safety mechanism. Defense mechanism is really what it is. And we always do that. I'm not going to get hired for that job. And you're just saying that to yourself because you feel like you don't deserve to get hired, or you really do deserve to get hired, but you're scared that you're not going to get hired and get disappointed. So you're trying to protect yourself from the disappointment. We all do it. We're all freaking human, right? So what I would recommend is even if you were attuned to the abilities that I'm attuned to, you kind of come full circle. And you get to the point where you're like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I'm at this point. I'm really enjoying ignorance for the first time in my entire life. I'm like really surrendering to it. It actually makes me very emotional to even think about it. And it's very similar to the full circle that I came with lucid dreaming. Years and years ago, I was obsessed. I'm like, all I want to do is control my dreams. How cool is that? I can fly. I can grow, right? It's like obsessed with being taller. I can change form. I can go anywhere I want to go in my dreams if I'm lucid. Great. Then I started lucid dreaming and it got so boring. Let me tell you. All of a sudden, I'm in control of my entire physical reality and I need to make choices in every moment of my human life. And now I need to be in control and make choices and be aware and in every moment of my sleeping, dreaming life. No, thank you. It was boring. I'm like, I love being aware of dreams, but let the dream just take me, right? And the second that something in the dream I don't really like or it doesn't resonate with me, I change it. But I'm so in this moment-to-moment place where I'm excited for every day because it's always going to be different. So, yeah, I love understanding contracts, but I'm not obsessed with knowing them all anymore. And I just want to say that was my full circle, and you guys have to experience that full circle on your own, but I'll give you that information before you have to kind of be spinning out like I was for a while. Okay, also, Adriana, why is it that sometimes our partner is also the person that triggers us the most? Great question. Definitely Nat is the one who triggers me the most, and luckily I really don't get triggered as much anymore these days. And, the reason being is because they're a mere reflection of you. Okay. Right now, I think most relationships, I wouldn't even say that Nat and I are a 5D relationship all the time. We definitely have moments, and I would say we're probably better than 90% of relationships out there. But yeah, we're definitely not this ideal example of a 5D relationship. We're just, kind of living our life. And so in a 3D relationship, right, which is, once again, right now, even if you've met your partner in the last couple of years, there are definitely 3D aspects. All that means, I don't want people to associate negative connotations to 3D, just like I don't want people to associate negative connotations to ego. Ego's not a bad thing. It's our fight and flight response, but it allows us to do certain things, just like I don't want people to associate negative things to reptilians, right? I mean, they're not all bad, right? They allow us to do certain things, which is to shine, because they are that counterpart. So within ourselves, in a 3D relationship, all that means is that you are coming into the relationship with a tool, a perception that your partner doesn't have. Do you see where the trigger would happen there? Right? That's it. So the triggers within your partnership just allow you to learn. And as long as you're open to change, as long as you're open to breaking down your old standards, you're going to do great in the relationship. And that's it. That's just what it comes down to. Okay? So yeah, you just have to be willing to change and to be open to learning, even when you're stubborn like I am. Right? And that makes a great relationship. You're willing to shift your perception, change your vibration from 3D into 5D. The second that you and your partner start talking about your different perceptions, you're taking a 3D individual and a 3D individual, one polarity and another polarity, and you're harmonizing them together to rise above the polarity, right? To create that 5D partnership. That's all it is. It's just harmony between two sides. That's all that a 5D relationship is. You're not all of a sudden transported to a new dimension and now you exist on a fluffy cloud. It doesn't work that way. I think we all want that to happen, but it doesn't work that way. Okay, and then also one more question from Adriana. Is it possible that our partner has been with us in past lives together? 100%, hands down. And thank you guys for the super chats, Antidote and Jeremy and Charma. 100%. I mean, I believe, just because I can see past lifetimes, that the person that you walk by on the street that you smile at, and maybe not so much these days anymore, but they're in your past lifetime. They've been in a past life before. Like, I live in this condo complex with like 200 units, potentially 2 people or more per unit. And I always see the same 3 people every time I leave. And now, granted, I don't leave often because I'm a little hermit. But it's always the same people. Because they're in your vibration. Because most likely they've been in your past lifetimes. So if a complete stranger that you've never had a conversation with has most likely been in your past lifetime before, your partner has probably been in multiple. Okay, just to put things into perspective, right? Okay. All right, Cassandra Knight. Can you discuss healing after an abusive relationship or past sexual traumas and learning to trust a new partner? Great question. It takes time. Like, I know the whole like cheesy saying, time heals all wounds, but you know, maybe that doesn't resonate with me. Maybe it doesn't take time, because really we can transmute things instantaneously in the present moment without any time whatsoever. What it really takes to heal trauma from a past relationship or even just an abusive childhood is it takes an ability to be vulnerable on your end for communicating and opening up and expressing that vulnerability and how you've been affected before. And then it also takes that support and vulnerability from your partner to be open to your vulnerability, right? You guys have to meet in the middle with that. I never really knew what a supportive relationship was. I assumed that I was being supported every single relationship that I've had. But until meeting Nat and being, especially with a woman, you know, just to mention, so loving, so supportive. And because she shows up so authentically and so supportive and so unconditional in every single moment, I show up and I meet her vibration and I learn so much from her every day. Most of my relationship with men, just because I do have that very strong divine masculine energy, it was always a competition. It was always an energy of proof. And because they were trying to compete with me, I met their energy and tried to compete with them. So whatever your most ideal relationship is or looks like, you need to embody that first as probably the more conscious partner in the relationship. You need to step up in that way so that they can follow you, rather than you being the open empath and following them, right? So it really comes down to that whole vibrational shift again. So yeah, it just takes the ability to communicate and be vulnerable in order to heal those past traumas and sexual abuse from other relationships. You have to talk about it. I know this is like, once again, you know, every counselor will tell you, communication is so key. Especially when you don't want to communicate about it, is the perfect time to communicate about it. Okay. Vanessa Garza, in dream state, can y'all help each other out? Never thought I'd say y'all, but here we are. Jump into your partner's dreams and protect them while sleeping. Okay. Yeah, so absolutely 2 partners, and thank you guys for the super chats. You're so amazing, and it's so unneeded, but very, very appreciated. So yes, you can meet up in dream state. You can meet up with your partner, with a friend. I've been having very weird prophetic dreams recently about friends, even people that I haven't talked to in many years. And then I have to reach out to them. I'm like, hey, you came into my dream and you were drinking a lot, or you were pregnant, or whatever. And in my mind, I'm like, oof, I don't usually tell people this, but if it's coming through a dream, I kind of have to. I just, take it or leave it kind of thing. But anyway, so you can meet up in dream space. It's very rare in my own life that I've met up with a partner in a dream and then we've woken up the next morning and we both had the same dream. That's maybe happened twice, maybe 3 times. But when I think about it, actually, I have had a lot of people reach out to me and say, oh, we were on a mission last night. And then I actually start getting flashbacks to the mission that we were on. So maybe it happens more often than not. But say with a partner, it doesn't happen as often as I'd probably want it to happen. But it's definitely partner to dream. It's definitely partner. It's definitely possible to dream share with your partner or even with a friend. Okay. And then Laura May. How do you not let your energy get enmeshed in a relationship? Kind of covered this, but mostly healthy boundaries, cutting cords with your partner, even in that moment. And that helps. Like, my wife has had a crazy bad back this week, and in the middle of the night last night, I did some healing on her right before bedtime. And then in the middle of the night, I woke up with the exact same back pain. And I'm like, no. So I start moving the energy through my body, understanding that when I was doing the healing, I wasn't moving the energy as I was healing her. And I ended up taking it on, and it was starting to manifest in my body. That was like last night. And I was like cutting cords and clearing and moving the energy through my body. And then she's like, oh, I feel so much better. I'm like, I bet you do. No. So cutting cords, it's not a bad thing. It's a healthy thing in any relationship. Okay. And then last question here. Anna S. Hi, EA and all. Thank you for the wonderful content. I'd love to know if marriage is important in higher dimensions. Marriage declared in front of a third party to make it legal in 5D and onward. Okay, very cool. So I'm not an expert in this, and personally, I never thought I would get married in my own life, just because, oh my goodness, like literally so much resistance. The whole wearing a white dress because you're a virgin, so bullshit, and the religion and the government contracts and it's so gross to me, like all of it. But that being said, the fact that I don't really believe in marriage, I do believe in monogamy, and not everyone does. And I have had other dynamics and situations in my life in this lifetime. So I've explored the other side, and it's enough work being with one person and being present and vulnerable and working on their issues and imbalances, and then your own issues and imbalances. It's a lot of work dealing with more than one person, just in my own personal experience. So as far as marriage and relationships in other dimensions, I don't really know. There's a lot of beings that choose not to have relationships because, say, for example, as a gray, you can't procreate. So what is the point of getting together? So you have dynamics and relationships in your life, but there's never a commitment like that. However, when I've taken a look and seen Palladian dynamics and relationships, especially on the planet of the Pleiades or on the multiple planets of the Pleiades, I've seen very similar family dynamics to what we have on Earth, a man and a woman and children. That's what I've seen. But I've also seen Palladian dynamics and relationships where they're very open and very free and very, fun-loving, with whoever it is that they're drawn to in that moment. So I've seen both. I haven't really experienced a whole lot of other species and what their romantic relationships are like. As far as like a government contract and a marriage certificate, I don't believe that there's much of that out there in other dimensions and other frequencies and other beings. There's just no need for that. But there is such a thing as monogamy and polyamory as well in those other species. Yeah, cool. Awesome, guys. So I love you all so much. Tomorrow I will be coming back on a live video at 5:55 or 2:55 or 1:55 or wherever you are in the world. And it'll be all about the grid system, okay? So make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, check out the membership page if you're interested in more content, and I will see you all tomorrow for another live video on the grid system. Watch out, it's gonna be amazing, and there are definitely gonna be some tools there for you and your own quantum experience. Bye for now.